we're in game one. So let's see how a game goes. So we're going to go first. And the deck does exactly what I want it to. I have a turn 1 and ideally a turn 2 drop right there. So I'll keep this and we'll see what our opponent does. I don't know what we're up against, but that Garrick, I'm pretty sure he might be on some mono green or just some bestial deck that I don't really want to deal with. But the same thing, I'm playing a mono blue deck, so who am I to judge? Yep, they're on a green deck. Oh, I don't... World Tree. That's interesting. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start attacking. And we're going to, you know, just because we might need some resources, we're going to foretell this, hold the multiverse, and we're going to see what our opponent does. A play land tap. Okay. So we can pretty much, we might be expecting a removal spell here, but we're going to come in and swing in anyway. Anything? No. Pump. I think those life points super low, buddy. And we'll play this out. And again, I know there might be meat hooks in the immediate future, but that can't stop me because this deck has to be aggressive. We got a job to do, and it's to punch them in the face as quickly, as hard as possible. So we're going to attack here. And then we're going to be holding multiverse because we need to hit our land drops. That's very important. As much as I'd like to keep this, let's just push this back because we do have Alron's Epiphany in our hands. All right. Meat hook for 2. I'm fine with that. I'll run the Delver out into this. If they have their second black source, they might be a meat hooks in the future, and we're okay with that. Because at least one of our creatures will survive, and it's forcing the meat hooks. And that just lets me know I have counter magic and fading just going ahead. And what you guys should also do is what I kind of do is, there we go, call the meat hooks. We saw that. We're perfectly okay with that. Now, what I usually do is I organize my hand just so I don't get things confused. I have it in mana order. So highest to lowest from right to left. We'll play this. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep some mana. We're going to actually keep the mana open at this point. Well, actually, let's actually do this, right? Let's be professional here. And let's attack for 2. Let's go. All right, so let's see what they got. If it's a planeswalker, it's getting countered. If it's a creature, I might bounce it. Correction, all right. It can stay. What is he trying to do? Fight? Sure, I lose 1 life. Let's counter that. And this is the power of this deck. Just getting in early and just abusing our opponent. And again, do I want to pump this up because we're missing our land drops, which I really don't like. 14, we can turn this to 4. We'll keep the counter, Matt. We'll keep the counters up. So we'll foretell Auron's Epiphany, and we'll say go. We know they might have a removal spell. We're fine with that. Ideally, we want them to just like hard cast a Planeswalker like Lolth and say, oops. Again, the power of getting in early. They're struggling just to get an answer on board. And most people, they think the answer is a Planeswalker, and we've capitalized on that. This is what this deck is trying to do. Just punish people just for, you know, being normal, you know? Not that anything's wrong with that, but sometimes you just gotta think outside the box and punch people in the face. Now there, I should have played Limerith, but I didn't because I'm expecting a board wipe of some sort to come out. Prosperous Innkeeper, that's fair. So they're probably going to try to exile it. And we already know the answer to that. We want to let this go. We can because we have Limerith. So let's let go. All right. We'll play this tap and we'll say, let's see if you can answer this. Again, I don't like tapping out because a Planeswalker or something bad might be coming. Yep. A Ren and 7 might be coming off the top. Not like we could have prevented this anyway. Double Chariot. So they're going to gain 12 life, I think. No, they're not going to gain 12 life. My mistake. they're going to go to 12. And we're fine with that, because if we get a land, the game's, the game's ending. So 5, 10, 15, the game's ending. So what we're going to do is we're going to Alron's Epiphany right now. And we actually just might get a concession for game 1 here. All right, attack. And then we're also going to draw a card in addition to that. Hopefully we can hit a land just so we can hard cast this one. Land, please. It's not quite a land, but that's fine. They're dead next turn. They're dead this turn. So we swing in. Attack. And there we have it. Game 1. All right, so it's for sideboarding. Again, like I said, sideboarding is really... I don't want to say I'm being cocky about this, but what exactly do we need to put in? You know, reject for the Planeswalkers. This is typical Green X deck. We already know all the tricks they have inside here. And I think the deck handles it pretty well initially. So herein lies the conundrum with this deck. Maybe, again, if you guys have a suggestion as far as what the sideboard should be, please let me know in the comments down below. But I don't think I'm really going to side anything in, because we know what they're going to do. They're going to side in duresses. They're going to basically try to go after our hand. Maybe some duresses might come in. Maybe... I have no idea. I don't really care for green. Unless they're elves. Unless they're elves. If they're elves, then I care. But as far as this is concerned, I'm really not just... I'm not worried about it. I figure they're gonna be on the play, and I think the same thing's gonna happen. They're gonna be forced to look for removal for the turn 1 creatures, and if they can't handle that, the game's gonna spiral out of control, because once my creatures get going, I have all the protection and interference that I need to make sure that you die. So let's see what this guy's got. This isn't ideal, but we have some interference. We can stop the Chariot, we can stop the Planeswalkers, and if there's any early game mana dorks, we can just flash it back to their hand and scry. Did I mention you can scry with this card? Card's really good. That's okay. That is an issue. I'm not gonna lie. That card is somewhat of an issue. Not gonna try to downplay it. I am instant speed, as I mentioned before. This card is somewhat of an issue. But let's do this. And do we send this back to the hand? There might be a Chariot coming, so let's just bounce that back just to like cause some form of interference. And we have another one, so we'll keep that because we have plenty of lands to do. Ooh, Paolo. Paolo's card is very good, the Elite Spellbinder. So this is made after Paolo Vito Rosa. Very good player. So we're going to play the Hermit out, and if we see a Chariot or a Planeswalker coming, you already know what we're doing to it. We're just going to activate the Hermit's effect, and it'll be countered. If I was him, I'd, bring it to level 2 and just call it a day and just start swinging in. Okay, we might be in a tad bit of trouble here depending on how the game develops. But for the only thing we can do is just keep playing with each other. Well, playing to the game, you know? So let's just end turn. But we may be in a tad bit of trouble here. Yikes. Well, before you do that, let's put that on top of put that back in your hand, please, and let me scry. That is wonderful. Attack. And Limerith. The Desert Doom! Yep. That's fine. Do you have an answer from Limroth? Limrith. I don't know why I keep saying Limroth. Okay, so they have double Paolo. That's their response to... All right, we have nothing better to do, so we gotta press the advantage while we have it, right? All in. So either you take 6 or you double block. If I were you, I would double... Okay, you're not doing anything. I respect it. I respect it completely. Now, in this scenario, again, it's good because this would come back. So if this would divide by 0, I could still be able to do it and just whop that back to their hand. But we have Fading Hope, so this is good. So let's see what they have. If I'm guessing they might have Lulth, the Spider Queen. If they do, it's a minor impediment, but we can still deal with it. But I think we might have them dead to rights depending on where our next card is. Yep. Gonna pass turn. Sure. We'll take. Was it get double strike? We'll take 8. We'll go to 8. Hopefully, I don't mess up and like drop this game. Okay, so this is really good. So the only thing I'm actually really worried about right now is that they have the snake skin, which gives them +1, +1, +1/+1 counter, and it makes them hexproof. But what we gotta do here is the hermit is really good. For the simple fact of the matter is I don't want to sacrifice this, because what I want to do is I want to bounce the elite spellbinder, Paolo's card, and then what I'm going to do is if he has a rebuttal for that, I'm going to activate the Malevolent Hermit's effect, okay? So I think this game is pretty much in the bag, and we'll move on to match number 2. Bounce this. And if they have the... Okay, that's wonderful. We'll push you to the bottom. We don't need you right now. And I think we might get a concession here on the end step. Or not. So let's go to battle. Again, don't forget. 3. Nobody has reach over there, so let's come over here with Limerith and attack. And this should be game over. There we go. So we 2-0 match number 1, and there we go. I'll see you guys for match number 2.